This is 88.5 WMNF Community Conscious Radio from the Mike Eisenstadt Performance Studio. This is the Live Music Showcase, brought to you by WMNF Tampa and listeners just like you. I'm Randy Wind, your host for the next hour. Tropical Heatwave on April 30th featured more than 50 bands competing for listeners' attention. 3 bands who really turned on the crowds are returning tonight for a show at Skipper's. We're calling it Heatwave Faves. One of those exciting bands is right here in our studio for today's live music showcase. Vanessa Collier.
I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories. Hey, window pane, do you remember how sweet it used to be? When we were together, everything was so grand. But now that we've parted, it's just the one sound that I just can't stand. I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories. I can't stand the rain against my window. No, 'cause he not here with me. Alone with the pillow where his head used to lay. I know you got some sweet memories
Wow, there's so much going on inside that one song. There's just crazy things happening with the guitars and bass and everything's happening. The saxophone. Wow, Vanessa Collier right here in our studio. Okay, let's fill people in, Vanessa, for the many people who are listening right now who have never heard of you.
Sure.
Get a little background on where you're from and how you came to be where you are.
Absolutely. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, and but I grew up in Maryland, and now I'm in the Philadelphia area. And I basically went to college with a lot of these guys at Berklee College of Music in Boston, and started touring my last year with blues legend Joe Louis Walker. And he took me out on the road for a year and a half, and then I started doing my own thing, and we've been doing it for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Yeah.
So basically, this band, these your bandmates are all friends of yours from Berklee.
So yeah, the Noah here, the guitar player, and the bass player, I met them in Berklee, and my drummer Nick is actually a grade school friend from Maryland. Yeah.
And so what was the time period that you were with Joe Louis Walker?
It was the fall of 2012 through the end of 2013. And
as I understand it, all the reviews of his shows couldn't help but talk about that beautiful, talented saxophone player. was that kind of what was going on with that with your time with Joe Louis? You were getting as much attention as Joe was.
I don't know. He's a great
Not to take anything away from him. He's fantastic.
Yeah, no, he's just a great ambassador for the young musicians, and definitely like an old blues soul in that he's into teaching and bringing the music to the next generation. So I was very, very fortunate to spend some time with him and be able to grow and learn so much from touring with him for a year and a half.
But you got your chops there as a touring band, and so when you set out to do your own music, it's kind of an interesting. I see it as almost equal parts blues, funk, and jazz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that really where did you go out with that intention, or did that just sort of happen by accident?
Yeah, I like playing music that I love, and I know a lot of people want you to be one thing, and I really like being unique, and I think that's why most people like a lot of our shows. It's a lot of variety and it features of different people, and it's just a very open format. So I think I love all that music. And it's just what I grew up with in different phases of me, I think.
Vanessa's going to be at Skipper's tonight, and if you're thinking about getting tickets, you can still get tickets at the advance price if you call us now or go to WMNF.org. You can call us at 813-238-8001. The advance price is only $12 tonight for 3 bands, all of whom are kind of headline material because they all really did great sets at Tropical Heatwave just a couple of months ago. The schedule tonight, if you are wondering, is around 8 o'clock. The War and Treaty kicks off the evening. If you want to see them, they are so fantastic, and you don't want to be late for them. Then, somewhere around 9 o'clock or so, Vanessa and her band will take the stage, and maybe around 10:30, Trey Pierce and the T-Stone Band. So that's kind of the order of the show tonight. The weather is expected to be beautiful. Had a little rain earlier in the day to break up some of that humidity, and we're looking towards beautiful weather tonight. So come on out to Skipper's Smokehouse. Three great bands, not just one great band, but 3 great bands. Vanessa's going to be playing right in the middle of the evening, prime time, and you're going to want to check her out. Later in the show, we're going to be giving away an autographed copy of her CD, Heart, Soul, and Saxophone, and we will be giving away a pair of tickets to tonight's show at Skipper's. There'll be some trivia involved, so we'll be talking to you about that in a little while.
All right, sounds great. Let's do When Love Comes to Town.
I was a sailor, I was lost at sea, under the waves before love rescued me. I was a fighter, I could turn on the thread. Now I stand accused of the things I said. When love love comes to town, I'm gonna jump that train. When love comes to town, I'm gonna catch that plane. Maybe I was wrong to ever let you down, but I did what I did before love came to town. Used to find love under a red sunset. I was making promises I was soon to forget. I was as pale as the lace on my wedding gown. Well, I left him standing before love came to town. I ran into the juke joint when I heard the guitar scream. Notes were turning blue, I was lazing in a dream. As the music played, I tell my life turned around. Well, that was the day before love came to town. When love comes to town, I'm gonna jump that train. When love comes to town, I'm gonna catch that plane. Maybe I was wrong to ever let you down, but I did what I did before love came to town. I was there when they crucified my Lord. I held the scabbard as the soldier drew his sword. I threw the dice as they pierced his side, 'cause I've seen love conquer the great divide. When love comes to town, I'm gonna jump that train. When love comes to town, I'm gonna catch that plane. Maybe I was wrong to ever let you down, but I did what I did before love came to town.
Well, I hope listeners can appreciate how exciting this music is. It is even more exciting to see this band live. Just so great. Vanessa Collier and the band. Now Noah over there on guitar. Noah Sosha, you're doing something on the guitar that's unusual. The way you attack the strings with your right hand, is that what is going on there?
Well, I started with classical when I started playing guitar about 13 years ago, and that's when I started playing harmonica too. I kind of started playing them together, and that's kind of where I got the technique. And then they tried me to.
What do you call that technique? It's kind of open hand slap or something's going on there. What's happening there?
I don't know. I don't have a name, but I'll take that name. I'm okay with that. Open hand slap. It's kind of cool. I like it. I don't really know. I just kind of, I kind of started with classical and then went my own way. Like tried to figure out ways that I could sonically obtain what you would do with a pick without using one. So that's kind of the idea of that. It's really about the sound.
Did you not want to use a pick?
I didn't like it. I didn't like the sound. It just sounded like really plasticky to me. So I don't know. I just figured I liked better the versatility of being able to do, multiple things. So like you can be like aggressive, like, and then like do arpeggios and stuff. So like that, I like the versatility of being able to do that with. My right hand without having to switch all the time. And I just didn't like holding something in my hand while I was playing. I felt like it was limiting me.
Well, it's great to watch, too. So you got to come see the band tonight. Hearing them, I'm telling you, hearing them's one thing, but seeing them, Vanessa gets into that saxophone, really impassioned. It's very cool to watch. But is it Noe? Noe. Yes. On the guitar, something else, really exciting. And I think it creates some of that... there's the feeling that there's a lot going on with each of these songs. This isn't just like a regular quartet. It sounds like there's about 8 people playing. Pretty exciting stuff. Vanessa Collier is our guest. She'll be at Skipper's tonight as part of the Heatwave special show tonight, the Best of Heatwave. And we need to let you know that our live music showcase today has some extraordinary people mixing the sound. Mark Perfetti is our chief sound mixer. He's assisted by Steven Schuler. We've got a video crew that's going to be putting this up on YouTube by the end of the day. Bob Hoke, Richard Stone, Tom Connors, Marcy Connors, and Steve Arduengo and Mildred Matos are putting together these shows and booking them and getting all the details worked out. So it's a great team working on the live music showcase every Friday, 2 to 3, right here on WMNF 88.5. Vanessa Collier is our guest, playing tonight, Best of Heatwave at Skipper's Smokehouse. Tomorrow you'll be in Tallahassee, then in Sebastian. We'll talk about your schedule a little bit later, but let's hear another song.
Okay. We're going to do a song. It was actually the first song I wrote, and it's entitled So What? It's about doing what you love and not letting anybody tell you different.
Now, did you take the title from Miles Davis, or was that just coincidental?
The thought, yeah. The thoughts there behind it. He was kind of my inspiration for this one, and just decided to put a couple verses and make it my own. Yeah. When the songbird takes its flight and I'm lost in the confines of my mind, I'm caught in a web of words so unkind, telling me I can't do this, no I can't do that. Well, I say, so what if I don't make no money? So what if it makes me happy? So what you say doesn't matter anyway, 'cause I've got the love I need, and it is my everything.
when I'm bound by feeble wings and discouraged by the harsh realities. The world doesn't hear my quiet little pleas, so I speak up and be heard, kick up a little dirt, and I'll say, so what if I don't make no money? So what if it makes me happy? So what you say doesn't matter anyway, 'cause I've got the love I need, and it is my everything. We leave footprints in the sand, and in time they wash away. A smile will stay forever in my heart, so I can and I will and I won't be stopped. And I say, so what if I don't make no money? So what if it makes me happy? So what you say doesn't matter anyway, 'cause I've got the love I need, and it is my everything. 'Cause I've got the love I need, and it is my everything. 'Cause I've got the love I need, and it is my everything.
So what? So why'd you play the soprano on that one, soprano saxophone on that one?
I don't know. I love the tone of it, and it's what I heard when I wrote the song, is that tone, and I never get to play it because doing blues and harder stuff, it doesn't necessarily fit. But this sort of jazz and hip hoppy thing, it fits real nice over top.
Kind of gets into that Coltrane sound.
Oh, thank you. That's a high
bit.
compliment. Yeah, thank you.
Vanessa Collier is our guest. Hey, Cheryl Mogul, who does the Saturday Soiree, hey, she's writing in and says, very cool. That was Vanessa when Joe Louis Walker played the Sunshine Music Fest
Yeah.
at the Vinoy a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and she was great. And says the show sounds good today. So you played here a few times with Joe, or do you remember?
I think it was that one tour. It was three dates. Of course, the Tedeschi Trucks Band is the headliner, and it was awesome. It was like Matt Schofield that year, and right before us with the Wood Brothers. So got to see them 3 nights in a row, and just fell in love. Yeah, so I think that was the one tour I did with Joe down here. It was awesome.
Now, you played Skippers before because
Yeah.
I think it was in December of last year.
Yeah,
You opened for Damon Fowler.
Damon Fowler. Yeah, absolutely.
And I got so many fantastic reviews. People said, this band needs to come to Tropical Heatwave. So from the Damon Fowler show at Skippers, you earned a Heatwave spot, and now you've earned the spot for the Best Of Heatwave back to Skippers again. So these things go in circles and they keep building. And I think your career just is going to keep building, because every time people see you, they are not going to forget you. Now, listen, I want to give away a pair of tickets to the show tonight at Skippers.
Nice.
The War and Treaty, Vanessa Collier and Trey Pierce and the T-Stone Band, 3 fantastic bands playing at Skippers tonight. It's a WMNF event, and we have a question that has been partially answered today. Vanessa wrote all but 2 of the songs on the album, Heart, Soul, and Saxophone. What are the 2 songs that she didn't write? Is that correct? Just 2?
There's actually 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
4 I didn't write.
Well,
so.
well, then our question's all wrong. So
That's all good.
how do you want to do it? Do you want to say 3 or more? If you can name 3 or more of the songs. You played 1 earlier, right?
Yep, we did.
If you can name 3 or more of the songs, we'll give you a pair of tickets to the show tonight. We'll hold the tickets for you at the door. Here's what you have to do. Call 813-239-9663. Name 3 covers from the album. Okay, now you, when I saw you in concert, you mixed originals and covers about 50-50, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But of course, there's so many great jazz and blues songs to cover that, and every time you do it, it's not like you're doing a note for note recreation of the original.
Right.
You definitely make every song
Right,
your
right, right.
own. So I think it's great that you are writing songs. In fact, you've competed in competitions. What's that about? You were in the John Lennon songwriting competition. What was that about?
Yeah, so I wrote the song, which we'll probably play for you today, called Bad News Bears. And it was written for a friend of mine who passed away. and I just wanted to celebrate his spirit and his energy. It was just like so loving and warm, and so I wrote this New Orleans street beat kind of thing, and I entered it into the John Lennon songwriting competition, and it finished in the top 3 as a finalist, and then also in the international songwriting competition as a finalist there. And it was also featured as a Best of 2014 Blues Breaker on Dan Aykroyd's Bluesmobile Radio. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey, and looking forward to.
So you're drawing from the great history of jazz and blues music, but you're also contributing new songs that perhaps other people will be covering someday.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I like to move things forward and try and create my own voice outside of the history of it, while still paying tribute to it. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hear another one, and let's see if we can get a winner on that contest. We're asking you to name 3 of the cover songs on Vanessa's CD. There's ways to research it, kids. Let's hear another one.
Okay, great.
Vanessa Collier. She's going to be at Skipper's tonight for WMNF.
All right. We're going to do another one of my originals, which I wrote about my first love, and it was one of those on-again, off-again relationships for a while. So when you hear the bridge, it's the point in my life where I moved on and decided to get happy, I guess. This one's called The Runaround. Heavy, my head feels light, 'cause you're giving me the runaround. I've been spinning and spinning out of control, feel like I was tossed and I lost and found. Something's changed the way things used to be, and it don't make no sense to me, no, no. Something just ain't right, and I need you to explain. Don't the sun still rise in the eastern sky? Want me to, but please tell me, baby, why don't you love me like you used to? I've been running to catch you, trying to catch my breath, only to find myself back at the starting line. I can feel my feet trying to carry a different beat, but my heart keeps falling behind. Something's changed the way things used to be, and it don't make no sense to me, no, no. Something just ain't right, and I need you to explain. Don't the sun still rise in the eastern sky? Want me to, so please tell me, baby, why don't you love me like you used to?
I'm giving up your troublesome mystery. No more excuses, I'll be gone before you miss me. 'Cause if there's one thing I've learned, it's never be concerned with the lies of a liar. And loving you's like throwing tears on a fire. 'Cause I only end up there. Don't the sun still rise in the eastern sky? What do I make do? But please, I don't want to hear it, baby. I don't care. I don't love ya. I don't love ya like I used to. No, no.
You guys are killing it. What a hot band. Vanessa Collier right here in the Live Music Showcase. Thanks to Mark Perfetti for doing a great job mixing today. It really sounds good. If you'd like to visit WMNF's Tip Jar, we are a listener-supported commercial-free radio station, and we are accepting your tips. You can call us at 813-239-9663. You can text us at 813-433-0885. You can email dj@wmnf.org or livemusic@wmnf.org. And you can check out the Live Music Showcase Facebook page. You can also check us out on YouTube with all of the shows in the past weeks and months right up there on YouTube to check them out. So Vanessa, you drove up this morning from Pensacola.
Yep.
That's a good drive.
It was a good drive. Yeah, the drummer actually drove the whole way. I slept this time.
Good. So you'll be rested tonight.
Yeah.
Of course, the drummer will probably fall asleep.
Right.
So after tonight, you're headed back up north to Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And then playing Bradfordville Blues Club tomorrow night. And then Sunday, you're in Sebastian, Florida.
Yep. Playing
at Earl's Hideaway. So a little bit of a Florida tour.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun. We've enjoyed the Florida crowds as always, and it's just nice to get around the state a little bit.
And then you come back October 7th for the Daytona Blues Festival.
Yeah, really excited about that one.
So that should be a good time
Absolutely.
for blues fans to go see Vanessa. But be sure to check her out tonight. You know, if you went to Heatwave, really hard to see a band's whole set at Heatwave with so many things going on. Tonight you can see three of the top bands, most acclaimed bands at Heatwave. We did a little survey, and these are the bands that a high percentage of the people who saw these bands really said they were fantastic. The Warren Treaty, they start off the evening. Vanessa Collier comes in about 9 o'clock or so, and then Trey Pierce and the T-Stone Band at about 10:30. So tickets are still available for $12 and $15 at the door. Plenty of tickets at the door, and the weather is expected to be beautiful. Now I think I saw that you were in Brazil since Heatwave as well. What were you doing in Brazil?
So a Brazilian blues band got in touch with me and somehow found me and wanted to bring me down for a string of dates.
To accompany them as a sax player in their band?
Yeah, sax player and singer. So I went down. It's basically three brothers, Fred Sunwalk and the Dog Brothers, and they play all sorts of stuff. B.B. King, and we did Dust My Broom and some old Elmore James kind of stuff like that. And it was a blast. I mean, I love the Brazilian people are so warm and so welcoming, and the music was awesome. It was one of the most fun shows I've been a part of.
Now, does that happen to you much, where you were being sought after to come and spice up a band's lineup by adding a saxophone? Does that happen a lot? Where else does that happen?
It's starting to. Yeah, I think the more you get known, those things happen. So they were the first. They're talking about bringing me back for another 15-show, 20-day tour next year, and then a couple places in Europe have been talking about it. So hopefully that will be all good.
Well, it looks like we got a call from Don Winner. Don Simon is the winner, and he says, great music. And John in Tampa says, didn't win, but I'll see you all tonight anyway. So
all right.
A lot of people are excited about the show tonight. I think it's going to be fantastic. One of the highlights of the summer when not much is going on. To have a great show like this will be really, really exciting.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to have time for about 2 more songs, so pick them wisely.
Okay. All right.
What's next?
We're going to do the song I was talking about earlier, Bad News Bears, and that's the New Orleans street beat that I wrote for my friend.
This is the one that is a top 3 in the John Lennon song competition.
You got it, yep. This one. All right. Whenever y'all are ready. Came to tell me my bills are overdue. Picked his fancy red pen and said, we got all your IOUs. Well, just when I thought it couldn't get any bleaker, he kept adding zeros and I kept feeling weaker. So I said, Mr. Taxman, what do I do? You might as well sing about them bad news bears. Might as well sing about them bad news bears. When you got trouble holding you down, throw up your hands and get rid of that frown and dance around them bad news bears. Took a break and escaped to the sweet sounds of the South. Dreamt to that red beans and rice, that Creole spice, letting a fire in my mouth. I did a little dance to that second line boogie, forgot all my problems and just played hooky. Something about that soulful music that makes you wanna shout. Might as well sing about them bad news bears. Might as well sing about them bad news bears. When you got trouble holding you down, throw up your hands and get rid of that frown and dance around them bad news bears. Epitome of cool, and this he said to me: life may tear you up, it may tear you down and throw you to the sea, but you gotta keep your heart wide open, mend it every time it gets broken, cause if you ain't loving, you ain't living, and that ain't the way to be. Might as well sing about them bad news bears. Might as well sing about them bad news bears. When you got trouble holding you down, throw up your hands and get rid of that frown and dance around them bad news bears. One more time. Might as well sing about them bad news bears. Might as well sing about them bad news bears. When you got trouble holding you down, throw up your hands